You know, I guess I'll just walk you through the event so maybe you have
Please.
some
Yeah.
more
Yeah. Yeah.
understanding.
Yeah.
Um, Typically on like weightlifting events, we've learned I work really well with Dom. So Dom took me through warm up. We went through kind of a similar warm up and you know that we went through at semis because Dom kind of coached me through the snatch at semis and it went really well. And we did the same thing at the games. You know, this time we're having to warm up for snatch and clean and jerk. Everything's like, you know, feeling as good as it can at that point. I think that was the first time like I kind of like felt a little more normal. And I was like, dang, like I do kind of have like a little more energy than I've been having. Um, and you know, I was like really confident in my weightlifting because that's something we've worked on a lot this year. Typically, I'm a really consistent snatcher. Um, Clean and jerks, we've been doing a ton. Like before, you know, I'd hit like a 220, I hit like a 230. Like it wasn't anything of like you kind of on a weightlifting event, you know what you're gonna do, like typically. Um, and so we're warming up for snatches, it's going great, and then we kind of switch to clean and jerks. And I'm like warming up and I'm like, dang, like my pull is like really great. But then we kind of get to like 175 and I kind of just like fall back and I'm like, oh, like I just caught it kind of like weird, you know. And then I do another one and like my legs just like didn't work. I kind of just like dumped it forward and I'm like, I was just like, whoa, like that was weird. Like, I don't know. My legs just feel off. And I think I like tried again and I like literally just like couldn't, I don't know, like my legs didn't hurt. They just like weren't working. Um, and so then I started freaking out. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Um, Dom didn't know what was going on. So we're kind of like, what do we do? And then, you know, they're calling us out and we're like, okay, well, we're like, we have to get something on the board. Like we have to do something. So I was like, okay, like power, like we just have to. So I powered like 185 in the back or 185, 195. And I'm like, well, whatever. And then they're calling us out and I'm like, all right, get through the snatch and then get to the clean, open up with 195. And then for some reason, I have Cooper yelling at me to go to like 215. And I was like, I was like, at this point, I'm like, whatever. Like, that's an aggressive jump, but if someone's telling me to do that, I'll do it. Failed, you know, kind of knowingly, like that was just wasn't gonna happen that day. And then, you know, it was really tough to be on the floor when I didn't know what was going on. Um, and I don't want to like, you know, that's like such a fun event where you're literally watching all of your competitors go through and everybody's cheering for them, you know, and it's like the super happy, like everybody's hitting PRs, like, and I'm just like, damn, I'm not having fun out here. Like, I don't care that my competitors are doing well right now. Like, I don't care. You know, I think a lot of people look at it as like, oh, what a poor sport. You're like, she's not watching. And I'm like, you think like any competitor wants to watch their competitor do good? Like, no. So I was just like, honestly like just struggling, and I was laying out there, and I'm like, damn, like what is going on? This is really hard. Walked off. Just like had like there was just nothing more to it. Like I just didn't do what I thought I was supposed to do, and
How
I was
how
just like,
how long did it take for that to get behind you?
honestly, like in a situation like that where like mentally I was showing up, like you know, even with 215, like when I walked up to the bar, like I was like, there's potential I could just randomly like I'm like, I've hit this before. You know, I've hit this in training. Like I hit this all the time. Like I could do it. And then it just didn't happen. Like it's tough when I mentally showed up and just like physically was not there. So it was like very easy to kind of walk away and be like, well, we just don't know what happened. Like
And
it
it
was
was the worst finish
like
of the day for
crazy.
you, 26th.
Yeah.
You were doing when I didn't see the weightlifting event because I was inside waiting for people to come in and I was interviewing
Oh
people,
yeah.
and I started hearing rumblings of people. "Oh, shit, Danielle Brandon's on the floor crying." Were tears coming out of your face on the floor?
I was struggling on the floor. Yeah.
Like water was coming out of your face?
Probably a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And um, when you do that, is it so let me go a little further. So then you come off the floor,
Hmm.
and all the other times that you've come off the floor, you're surrounded by cameras.
Yeah.
And you come out and no one can get in close to you.
Yeah. That
Except
was
little
good.
old me. You walked over to the stairs. I'm like, okay, Sevi. And I run over there, and you're by yourself, and I see the documentary crew, and everyone's like no one wants a piece of that.
Yeah.
And you bent over, and I think you were fiddling with your shoes. I think you were loosening your shoes, I'm guessing.
Yeah, probably my lifters.
And I hadn't seen your face yet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Sevi, you got to break the ice. And I think I said to you, how was that? And you froze for like just a half a second, and you looked over, and there's this smile in your eyes. It's kind of like, I wouldn't say you were mad at me, but it's a little bit of a forced smile.
Yeah.
But I'm like, hey, I'm justifying it like, okay, she might be pissed at me now, but she's not going to be pissed at me afterwards in the behind the scenes when she sees this. And then I start walking with you, and as I'm walking with you, you're walking towards Matt Torres, and I see him going.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.
Like, dude, waving me off. Oh, you'll see the footage of it. And I was just like,
oh, that's funny. I didn't know that.